we got here? Another Fender? Yeah, of course we have. I got two actually. This one, which I'm really keen to try right now actually, because it's super bitchin' looking. Check this out. HH, which I have been actually aching to try on a Strat. And it's made in Mexico, but it looks awesome. Anyway, I was just about to pull this thing out and play it and see what it sounds like, because it's in for a new set of tuners. Although, if I'm honest, I'm not sure how much difference it'll make, but they're staggered tuners. It's just exactly the same set of tuners, except they're staggered. Anyway, whatever. It's no big deal. It's going to be a really easy replacement. Basically, it's the new set of strings on, undo these, on with the new tuners, and this will be done in about 15 minutes. But I want to play it first because it looks awesome, and I'm curious to see what these humbuckers sound like, so let's get it plugged in. What an awesome guitar, holy shit. What a wicked guitar, holy fuck. I love this thing. What a rocket. What a rocket ship this is. Jesus Christ. Alright, here we go. Let's get this thing apart. I've just been cleaning up my shop, and let's get the new tuners on it. So he's got these staggered tuners here, and I don't know how easy that's going to be to see, but it looks like two of the posts are a little taller than the others, so I would assume that would be these two posts. I'll just quickly Google that. I've actually never installed those, but installing tuners is not that difficult. I'm just saying I've never installed staggered tuners. I'll be curious to see what sort of difference that might make, if any. Okay, so let's get these things on. Alright, let's get the strings off this thing. Alright, so before I go ripping all of these off here all right away, what I'm going to do is just take one of them off. So let's see what size these are. 10? Are these 10 mil? Yep. Oh wow, and they're loose. They're loose. Okay, so let's get one of them off. So these Fender ones are real easy to pull off. I'll just flip the guitar around here real quick and give you a look at it. So if you haven't swapped out Fender tuners before, these are real easy to get in and out. They just got these little nubs, these little grubs here on the end. So because I think this is the way it's supposed to be, let's see what we got. See if these fit properly without any alignment issues. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Oh, it looks like somebody's tried to sand these down a bit. I guess they want to relic those a bit. So let's just try the first one, make sure everything's okay. couldn't really be any more simple than that. That's how easy it is to change Fender brand tuners. So I'll just give that a quick, we'll zip that up real quick. Now you don't want to over tighten these because all you're going to be doing is compressing the lacquer. But give it a little bit of a snug. That's okay. There we go. Okay, so my inclination is correct. That's probably loose too. So is that. Yep, so is that. And they're all loose. Yeah, buddy. So the nice thing is, this nice fella is giving me his old tuners, so I have them to install on one of my guitars, which is awesome. I can always use a decent set of tuners, and there's nothing wrong with these Fender tuners. So doing this, I'm gonna basically do this in real time for you. I'm not gonna edit any of this out, just to show you how quickly you could be in and out of this. This doesn't take any time at all. There's no alignment issues, there's no... Just make sure you put those on bevel side up. Put the flat side on the bottom. You don't want to have the bevel digging into your fingerboard. So I'm just gonna tighten those by hand. And you know what? I'm gonna hazard a guess. These are all the same size, but because somebody has had it with those, I would just leave these last four actually, because they seem to be about the same height. But because somebody has had at them with a little bit of sandpaper, I'm gonna go ahead and put all of those on together. Because it looks like somebody's tried to relic these a bit. And that's what the owner wants, so that's what the owner's getting. Owner gets what he wants. There we go. Flat side down, bevel side up. This is a very simple... And it's funny because this is actually, replacing tuners, is the very first... It was the very first guitar repair I ever attempted on Les Paul. They were just drop-in tuners. Just bought a set of Grovers that were a bit better than the ones that came on my studio Les Paul at the time that I had. I remember taking pictures of it and posting it up on... Oh no, those are pretty short. I see why. Oh, okay, those are totally different. So those are really short. Ah, I see. Okay, okay. It's these two that are the same height as the old ones. I got it now. I see how that works. Neat. So those are totally different. So if you look at this head, it's beveled like these front two. So these two are the same. It's these ones that are short. I see. That's cool. Okay. All right. I worked it out. Neat. Anyway, it took way longer than it took. It took my very first attempt at this took way longer than what this is taking. A, because there's a few screws on the back of Les Paul pickups, but also because I've never done it before. But if you've never done this before, this Fender pickups, or Fender tuners especially, are the easiest thing to replace, as you can clearly see. And honestly, for those of you out there thinking of changing your sort of just standard Fender tuners, unless they're broken, unless for some reason they don't keep tune, I wouldn't bother. They're great tuners. Honestly, I wouldn't. I've had all kinds of tuners. And standard American Fender tuners seem to be pretty good. Unless they're broken for some reason, I find that they work pretty good. Now again, don't over tighten these. When it starts to feel snug, go ahead and let up on it. If you over tighten these, you're just gonna dig into the wood with your washer. But that's good. Those are nice and tight. So all that remains is just to throw a new set of strings on it. So let's get that going. Ah, you dirty slut. I got to take this off. I got to take it off. Now, incidentally, while I'm taking this off, for those of you guys who like to leave these things off, I don't know why you think leaving this off is going to improve your tone at all. There are some guys who write articles about the fact that you want to let the wood breathe and all this kind of bullshit. First of all, it's an electric guitar. Second of all, leaving this off the back cavity simply exposes all of the metal inside of the back cavity to the elements. So humidity is, and sweat from your body. It's just a good way to rust everything inside this cavity. That's essentially what you're achieving by taking this off and leaving it off. I mean, look, it's painted. Why would you leave that off? There's nothing inside there to breathe. It's all painted and lacquered. Oh, you silly monkey. This has become my big pet peeve. I hate seeing this. I hate seeing these like this. Go on, get in there. That's it. That's fine. Yes, this has become my big pet peeve, seeing those inside there incorrectly. Okay, so let's get these old strings out. So yeah, so you guys who like to leave these things off the back, I see so many guitars with these things taken off. And I ask guys, like, why did you take that off? Oh, blah, 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 the tone. Like, blah, 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 bullshit, my man. Bullshit, my man. With a capital B. Let's clean this thing up a little bit. All these fingerprints. Just a nice polishing cloth sometimes is all it takes to just rub all these. You don't really need to put any crap on your guitar necessarily. If you just get a nice polishing cloth, that's usually just about all you need to bring a guitar up to a pretty nice, get all the crap off of it. Okay, let's get his set of strings on. What's he running? Ooh, 10 to 46. Yuck. Yuck. That's too thick for me. Ah, stupid Diodario strings. Fuck, I hate these. What? Whoa, this is so annoying. I fucking hate Diodario strings. I don't buy them. If I'm recommending anything, I'm recommending you don't buy this shit. These are fucking junk strings. They don't sound very good. They wear out fast for my taste. And I go through a crap load of strings. And if I'm honest, just about the best strings that I've had so far that last just about the longest and feel the freshest for the longest are the Roto Sound strings that I buy. These ones. I don't get these for free, I pay for these, but I go through a pile of strings. If you're buying strings, try those out. I think you'll like them. I would recommend them. I go through a crap load of strings. Not to mention, not just on my guitars, not only do I go through a lot of strings on my own guitars, but of course every guitar that I string up, I'm either putting on my preferred brand or somebody else's brand. So I get to see lots of other brands and see how they feel, at least initially. But this packaging nonsense alone is enough to get me not to buy these strings. This is so irritating. And then having to figure out which is which, it's like, how annoying is this? These are so irritating. I don't like them. I don't like them at all! So sorry out there, Diodario guys. Those of you guys who like Diodario strings, I fucking hate them. To me, Diodario strings are like the Walmart of strings. That's to me what Diodario. When I see Diodario anything, that's like the Walmart of strings. Not that there's anything wrong with Walmart. It has its place and purpose. But certainly, if you're looking for high-end or high quality, it's not Walmart that you go looking in for whatever you're looking for. So I think my analogy is appropriate without being offensive to anybody who likes to shop at Walmart. Hopefully. Okay, let's get this bastard back together. So this whole thing, I don't even know what we're at for time here, but like this whole thing, soup to nuts, strings off, tuners off, tuners on, new set of strings back on, I would say is probably going to take me about a half an hour. And I'm not trying to go fast. If anything, I'm going slow because of the camera. The camera's holding me up. I feel like I'd already be done this if I wasn't trying to move the camera around and think about my camera angles and that kind of crap. So the reason I'm saying all that is just, if you're thinking about doing this and thinking about how long should this take you, I should say the first time you do this, probably no more than an hour. You just take your time and pay attention to what you're doing, just like anything. This should not be a difficult affair for anybody with a few basic tools. You got a 10mm socket wrench. That's and a screwdriver. It's pretty well just about all you need. There we go. Okay, it's ready to be strung back up. Now, because I'm a nice guy, I'm gonna go ahead and give this guy's fingerboard a bit of a clean. So here's what I've done. I got a new little trick. I put some of my Zippo fluid in a squirt bottle. And I find that it works great. So I just had a little squirt bottle left over. And I'll tell you what, this guitar is playing superbly. It doesn't need a lick done to it. It's playing very well. So whoever he got this from had paid to have it set up properly, or did it well themselves, because this guitar is playing very well. So I'll put some of Ben's, ooh yeah buddy, I'll put some of Ben's Restorative on there. Yeah, this guitar was already playing very well, so I'm just getting after a few little details just to keep it nice. Which ironically, if I'm honest, and I'm getting to this, I got a video coming about the quality of work done by the guitar shop here. And if I'm honest, they skip a lot of these little steps, because this stuff takes time. But it's these little details that make a difference. And the irony is that this is free, and the jobs that I feel like you'd pay for would never include this sort of service. Which is kind of funny. Which is sort of funny that it's the free service that my friend is getting, or that anybody who gets from me. Everybody whose guitar I touch, I go through all these little details. I clean everything up, everything gets looked at, and right? So because I don't necessarily film all this stuff, doesn't mean I don't do it. I do this stuff to every guitar. So, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but the way I string up a Strat is just always, depending on the gauge of strings, if it's a 9 or 10, I'm 2 past the post, and Bob's your uncle. And while we're at it, talking about tuners and keeping your guitar in tune and all that kind of stuff, I find that if you string up your guitar well, because I used to be a big believer in going out and spending as much money I could on a new set of tuners, because typically I always used to own Les Pauls. And I don't know, but they're junk tuners. So they are junk tuners. But if you string your guitar up well and you stretch your strings really well, your guitar should pretty well stay in tune unless you have other problems. And if I'm honest, I've been experimenting with those junk tuners for tuning stability. Just in the way I string up the guitar and stuff like that. And I feel like now I can even keep junk tuners to pretty well keep the guitar in tune. And it, to me, is starting to come all down to how you string up your guitar and how you stretch your strings and how your guitar is set up. And if you don't have any other problems, and there's nothing actually wrong with your tuners, then you should pretty well be able to get. Alright, so with these smaller ones, I kind of took a guess that I shouldn't go too past the post because there's not going to be enough room on that post. And I was right. I went just slightly past the post on this A string, or D string. So this is a little less thick string, so I'm going to go maybe 1.5 past the post on this to see. It's not as thick as the D string because it's not wound. Now if you ask me for my money, instead of going to all this trouble, I just would have put in one more string tree. For my money, like, I wouldn't have gone to all this trouble. That's how I've been solving this problem. This problem I think that he's trying to correct, that I don't think is actually that bad on this guitar. I normally just put in another string tree. I don't like Strats with one string tree. My G string always moans if I don't have another string tree. So I always put in another one. Alright, that's it. Job done. Tune it up. Kick it out the door. She's ready to roll. Okay, let me go find a tuner. Tune this baby up. But she's sorted. Okay. So there you go. So it's those 4 that are shorter, obviously to bring that angle down. But I don't know why that would make any difference except to the G string and the D string, which, like I said, I would fix with a string tree. I don't know why this rake over here now would make a lick of difference, because you're going under a string tree. So these 2 final ones I think are useless. These ones for the G and the D could be fixed with, I guess if you were running no string trees, I guess maybe that's what these are for. I don't know. Does anybody know? I've never had ones that have a different size. Maybe I haven't, I just didn't know it. Anyway, there you go. That's how easy it is to change a set of Fender tuners on this bitchin' Mexico, made in Mexico, really awesome sounding HH Strat. And I love these volume and tone controls. These are awesome.